Welcome back to the drawing room here at Mapperton. But did you know that this was not the original seat of the Montague family? In fact, we didn't move here until the 1950s. Our big house, the castle, was in Cambridgeshire and it was called Hinchingbrook House. And that is why my name is Viscountess Hinchingbrook. I was lucky enough to visit Hinchingbrook very recently, and all around me, in the walls, over the doorways, you could see the Montague coat of arms, and it was absolutely fascinating. Anyway, things change, and so have we. That's why we're here at Mapperton. And this is where we live now. One of the things since I've married into the family that I've always wanted to find out was, where did the origins of the name Montague come from? Because when I first moved here, people would say, ooh, Montague, that's an old name, that's an old name. So I decided to delve into the archives here at Mapperton. And wow, I mean, I find the archives endlessly fascinating, but I was able to uncover something absolutely extraordinary. Well, here I am again looking through the archives, but I've brought in a special guest, you, my husband, because I'm hoping you can help me with something. It's, you know, your family is just, it's like this journey of discovery. Every time I head into the muniment room or open up a letter or find a book, I have more and more questions. And so today I'm hoping you can help me. So I found this book that was made for your great-grandfather, George Montague, the 9th Earl of Sandwich, by his sister. And it's fantastic. These ancestral tablets. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a work of art. Have you seen these before?
I have never seen this before, and until you've shown me. And what seems extraordinary about it is the time that Olga, who was the sister of my great-grandfather, spent putting it together, because it doesn't just trace our family tree, it has all the related branches of other families, and it shows the kind of interconnectedness. And it does it in 3D, because you've got these little windows here
incredible,
where you can see through and have people on multiple pages.
So that you're understanding the connection.
You're understanding the other family trees, because everybody wants to show off the fact that they're connected with all these other aristocratic families. You can see that we've got the Hardwicks, Earls of Hardwicks, we've got the Duke of Bolton on another page.
So you know all these sort of shields here, don't you?
Well, I know some of them. But what's so fascinating about what you've uncovered here is the lineage going back beyond the first Earl of Sandwich. The Earls of Sandwich began, as we know, in the 1600s.
Exactly.
But obviously the Montague family goes back much further than that. In fact, we go back all the way to William the Conqueror. And if you trace back what we can see on this page,
yes,
you can see we've got Sidney, then we've got Edwards, Thomas, Richard, William.
all these Montagues.
There's generations of Montagues going all the way back,
yes,
to the time of Henry III. And you've got William Montacute.
Yes, so I can see where the name changes. So I see Montague, 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 and then there's a...
It starts to become Montacute. And what you've got to remember is that in those days, spelling there was a lot of variation, a lot of fluidity.
Right.
Montague probably came from Montacute and vice versa. Sometimes there was an E on the end, sometimes there wasn't. But what's interesting about this is that we get back to William Montacute. Now, he, I believe, was the grandson of somebody called Drogo de Montague. And Drogo de Montague was a French nobleman who came over with William the Conqueror.
Right.
From Normandy. And there is a place in Normandy called Montague-les-Bois, which means Montague of the woods.
Right.
And Mont-Aigu in French, Mont, hill,
yes,
mountain, Aigu, sharp hill. So Drogo de Montague came over, but the story gets really complicated because he came over with William the Conqueror.
Give me a year.
In 1066.
Thank you.
And as part of the Norman conquest. William the Conqueror was William Duke of Normandy.
Yes.
And he was best friends with Robert, who was the Count of either Mortain or Moreton, again a name that was spelt in different ways. And that chap, Robert, was given the town, the area around what is now Montague.
Which is very near to here.
Which is very near to here.
Yes.
Drogo was given land in Somerset, near somewhere now called Shepton Montague.
Oh my, which again, still near to here.
But this other chap, Robert, eventually gave Drogo de Montague, Montacute,
oh my
and
goodness.
a place called St Michael's Hill. And St Michael's Hill is also a pointy hill.
Right.
So you've got a pointy hill in France, and you've got a pointy hill in Somerset, and somewhere between those two pointy hills is the origin of the name Montague.
Well,
but what's most fascinating, of course, is that one of those pointy hills is quite close to here, and we've never been.
So you're telling me right now, now that I can trace this back, that really that is the place in Somerset, could be the origin, if you like, of Montagues as we know it today.
I think it almost certainly is.
I'm lucky enough to travel around the UK and explore some of Britain's most extraordinary families and historic homes filled with incredible history. But traveling around these homes and looking at the ancestors on the walls inspired me to find out more about my own family's history. So I did a MyHeritage DNA test, which is the #1 family history and DNA series in Europe. I received the MyHeritage DNA testing kit in the post and unboxed it, which was super simple. All that's required is to take a simple cheek swab, and that takes 2 minutes. The MyHeritage DNA test helps you discover your origins and find new relatives, plus covers more regions than any other test. Okay, you guys, my DNA from MyHeritage has just come back. Let's go. I'm clicking it. Oh my goodness. Ooh! Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm 46% North European, North and West European, 17% Scandinavian, 13% Balkan, and 12, I knew I was English, but I'm only 12% English. That surprised me there. Wow. Okay, wait, there's more. Okay, now I'm 11.4% East European. I absolutely love it. It's unbelievable. So do check out, this was so exciting for me, do check out MyHeritage and their DNA kit. There's a link down below and you can use my special code Julie1 for free shipping. As an added bonus, you can start a 30-day free trial of MyHeritage Best subscription for family history research and enjoy a 50% discount if you decide to continue it. That ancestral tablet that I discovered and looked through with Luke was fascinating. But I decided to go a little bit deeper and I just went through the entire archives and I found something absolutely extraordinary. I have to be super careful opening this up. This is the family tree all the way up to the 4th Earl of Sandwich, the one who invented the sandwich that we all eat today. And it is a present to the 4th Earl from the author. And on this tablet, it shows you the entire Montague tree, how we came from Montacute, and how we're related to Edward I and also William the Conqueror. Also, if you've been following our sister channel, Mapperton Live, you would have seen me that I'm in the middle of a huge renovation project of the Monument Room. I can't wait for it to be finished. But you may be wondering from the film where the Montague lozenges do originate. And listen, I went and asked my father-in-law, the Earl of Sandwich. He, of course, would know, and he said,
the 3 diamonds signifies the mountain reflected in water. Montague, the sharp mountain, the Norman French word, and the eagles come from the Mont Therma, much earlier connection from the Middle Ages, and the coronet above.
And the coronet above. Wonderful. And seeing the archives, and then of course speaking to Luke, has put me in the mind to go search for the site of the Norman Castle of Montague. I'm rather excited because I am here in Montague, and right up there is what I've heard, the site of the original castle. So fingers crossed, but you can see it's quite steep. I've got my wellies on, I'm kitted out, but what is also astonishing as I look around me is just to sort of, here, I'm walking on the land that was once owned and then of course walked on by my husband's ancestors nearly 1,000 years ago. So come along with me, get some wellies on everybody, get your breath switched on, that's for sure. We've got a hike. Breathing, breathing, breathing. I'm loving these two trees here. And of course, sometimes I wish I could go back in time and become a tree surgeon and be able to tell how old these trees are, but probably not 1,000 years old. However, probably the path that my husband's ancestors walked. Now, I hope you've been breathing. The key is to make your exhale just a tiny bit longer than your inhale. It works. All right, I see a clearing. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Wait till you see this, everybody. It's magnificent. Yay, everybody! We've made it to the top. Well done. And this was, of course, the site of the original Malt and Bailey Castle, which was built right after the Norman conquest. And those Normans, they were clever. They chose this spot to showcase their political presence, but also this is the perfect vantage point right here. Now, standing behind me, this tower was built in the 18th century. However, over the years, the castle decayed, and the last thing that was kept standing was the chapel, but that decayed as well in the 16th century. It was gone. So in its place, in the 18th century, was built this folly. And I can see a door, an entrance, it's open, so I'm gonna head on up. For me, it was so amazing to stand on the site of the original Norman castle keep and where the Montague family originated back to the 11th century. Now, I'm American. Our history is so short. So when I hear something like 1,000 years old, I can't believe it. But yes, the Montague name technically is 1,000 years old. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. And next time, I'll be visiting another nearby manor house in deepest Dorset. It's a house with monastic foundations taken on by a visionary family just 50 years ago. It's really exciting. Plus, there's some royal connections there as well. See you soon. Bye, everybody.